good. Yeah. Right. Oh, I can't wait for the full report, Julie. Good. Good. Yeah, that's awesome. Good morning, Betty.
Good morning, Elise.
Good morning,
Morning.
Rosie. Good morning, Suzanne.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How many people do we need to make a quorum? 6? Could you hear me?
You're muted, Elise.
Sorry, I was just listening to a voicemail. I just saw Fred in. He'll know. He knows what we need for a quorum.
I hope we have one today.
I know. Good morning,
Good
Fred.
morning,
Good
Fred.
morning.
Morning, Fred.
Fred.
1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more for a quorum.
Selma's not coming. Roseanne's not coming. Barry's not coming.
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Jay, have we heard from Jay?
Nope.
And Val doesn't count, right?
I know
Yeah.
that shouldn't be, but that's true.
Yeah.
Felicia may be coming.
Oh, good. Yeah, I forgot about Felicia.
I hope.
Well, we're going to have this meeting whether we have a quorum or not.
That's Felicia.
Is it Felicia?
Yeah.
Good. You have
Oh,
a quorum.
good.
Felicia,
Yay!
Felicia Webb, you make a quorum.
Oh, good. Happy to be
Hey,
here.
Felicia Webb has been very helpful since the day she joined.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, it's 9:30, so shall we start?
Yes.
Okay, let's see, I would like to open this meeting of the Gloucester Council on Aging. Today is Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. It's 9:30 a.m. and we are meeting via Zoom. Consistent with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. For the purposes of the recording secretary could be signed in, please starting with Rosalie,
Good morning, Roseanne Castro.
Felicia,
Felicia Webb.
Suzanne,
Suzanne Silvera.
Betty,
Eddie Monroe.
good, and Fred Cowan, and
Elisa
Ready?
Nagra.
cool. Let's see, start off please with the approval of the minutes of June 7th, 2022. Any additions or corrections, changes?
No, fine.
Hearing none, may I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of June 7th, 2022 as written?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Suzanne. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Betty. Any further discussion? We have to do roll call on this. Rosalie,
I'm fine.
Felicia,
I was not here, so I'll abstain.
thank you. Suzanne,
Approved.
Betty,
Except, yes.
and I accept as well. Thank you. So that's 4 and 1 abstention, and they are passed. Updates on board members' activity. Felicia, could we start with you, please? Because of an announcement. Hi, Val, welcome.
Hi,
Morning,
Good
Val.
morning.
Morning, Val.
Felicia, would you start, please? Because I know you have an announcement.
Yes, I wanted to let you all know that I will be leaving CADA at the end of the summer. I'm also moving,
Oh,
yeah. So I'm moving out of Gloucester as well. So I am resigning my seat on the Council on Aging. I've had a fantastic time working with all you guys.
Wow. You know,
oh, so
Felicia,
sorry.
I'm in charge of being emotional on this board. I
I know, it happens every
Susan
once in a while,
Goodall.
but yeah.
Oh, boy.
It has been so great working with you, Felicia. I
Felicia,
can't
really,
tell you.
And you
Yeah.
cover a base so well on this issue of transportation for us. I've always had the feeling that as much work as the rest of us do, trying to encourage people to guarantee transportation and whatnot, you're the backstop on that subject. And you've done just an extraordinary job of instilling a sense of confidence in us that you care about us and that
Oh, thank
CADA
you.
cares about us.
Thank you, Fred.
I hope in your remaining time at CADA, you give some thought about recommending a replacement for yourself.
Okay,
That would
Okay.
be very helpful. That would be very helpful. Your comments would be directed to the mayor, please,
Yep.
because it's up to him to make the appointment. But we've never before had such really fine representation for CADA until you came on. And so we're used to that now.
thank you. And yes, I will work on that. I was actually thinking about it over the weekend. So yeah, I
Thank
will,
you.
let me think on that one.
Thank you. Rosalie, what's on your mind?
I'm very sad over what Felicia just said, but
Yeah.
Fred, did you just say that the mayor has to help in appointing Felicia's the
Yes.
person that replaces Felicia? Why? CADA's not a city company.
No, but all membership on the Council on Aging is approved by the mayor.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
The
misunderstood.
nomination is recommended, and then the nomination then goes for city council for approval.
Okay, I thought you meant to replace her position at CADA. It's to replace her position at
Council on Aging.
COA. Okay, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Betty,
I don't have much on my mind today. I did spend yesterday at the health fair
good.
at Rosebaker, and that was
That's
very
an agenda
informative. I
item.
learned a lot, met a lot of great people. So
Good.
yeah,
That's an agenda. Suzanne, what's on your mind?
The only thing on my mind is that Elise and I had a nice chat last week about trying to get more volunteers.
Yeah.
And maybe it's across the city, everyone's having trouble getting volunteers.
I know.
Maybe try to run the letter I ran last year to the editor.
Good.
Elise wondered if they would run it again because it's the same subject. So I'm gonna try to spiff it
Reverse the
up.
paragraphs.
Pardon?
You know, kind of reverse the paragraphs.
Well, there's
Same
also,
message, but it has to look different. I don't think they can repeat the same letter.
yeah, well, there's a new editor too. And if I have to listen to Gordy Beard's letters to the editor about his farm animals, I think that we could get this in. So that's what's been on my mind.
Yes, but he varies. It's a goat one time and a pig the next, you see.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Susan Goodall, good morning. You were on mute. There you are.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Just been enjoying this gorgeous summer. Oh,
Indeed, yes.
it's the
My lawn
best
is
summer
burnt
we've
up.
had
It
in a
was awfully
long
nice.
time.
I don't cut it anymore. Val, good morning. You were on mute.
Thank you for the friendly reminder. My son's making breakfast right now, so it's noisy down here. My husband's got the upstairs for an important meeting. So I have nothing to add. I will add my part when we talk about the AVP event, because I have a few updates, and all is good. Things are crazy on city council, but I'm happy to be on this meeting right now with all of you. So thank you. And thank you, Felicia.
Let's see, Elise, anything to report with remote programming?
Anything to report? No, I reached back out to, oh no, did I? I started to, and I decided not to. I decided to wait. Just because of how far we kind of are still from being able to do our part of the simulcast stuff. I had started to try to go down that road and see if I could get over to the Lanesville Community Center board, and I just decided yesterday that it's not the time to kind of devote the time to it right now. So no, nothing, just tabled for now.
Okay, cool. Old business. Susan Goodall, we have some stuff to approve, language at long last. You want to run with this subject, please?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about the,
Well, I'd like to approve the language of frequently asked questions.
oh, I haven't done anything on the frequently asked questions. So that hasn't changed since last meeting.
Fine, that's what I was hoping, so that if I could have a motion then to approve it as written, then you can work with it on the webpage.
Oh, okay.
So would you make that motion, please?
Yes, I move that we approve the list of frequently asked questions as worded.
Thank you. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Felicia. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, we do this by roll call. Rosalie?
Aye.
Betty?
Yes.
Suzanne?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And Felicia?
Yes.
And I say, yes, that's unanimous. Susan Goodall, thank you for your good work on this. Appreciate that.
One more thing, what about the wording with the changes that Elise made to the code of conduct list?
That is a later agenda item.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So let's see. Barry is not here. We were going to talk some about the addition on page 1516 of the resource manual for Friendship Works and St. Ambrose House Aid Center. In my conversations with Elise, she made the point that those are not local referral points, but by the same token, I like the idea of having a place where readers frequent, where revelations can be posted, or Tommy articles, references, maybe a bright idea that some other community has had that we need a place to post and to promote an idea. So if we were to accumulate enough of those, we might actually make a separate publication. Yes? Or do you want to keep this under the umbrella of the Resource Journal?
I'd
Yeah.
suggest that we have a separate topic for that, because by putting it in the resources, it gives it more authenticity or approval than if we had it as a topic on its own, where it sort of stands alone rather than being part of the resources.
Okay. So do we want to then take any action on this subject now, or shall we table it?
I think we should table it till Barry's here.
Thank you. May I have a second on that, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Suzanne. Is there any further discussion? Betty?
Yes. Table.
Suzanne?
No. No further discussion.
Yes, therefore I ask you to approve the motion to table.
Oh, I approve, yes.
Yeah, Felicia?
Yes.
Rosalie?
Yes.
I say yes. And Susan?
Yes.
That's unanimous. Thank you. Then we'll table that till next month. Let's see. Elise, anything new with the virtual senior center?
No, nothing new. Nothing new right now.
Okay,
We're just, we're plodding along and trying to find some, just working well together still with the other councils on aging, trying to, I'll do our part to come up with our respective pieces of content, but nothing really new right now.
do you ever get a count from 1623 about viewership?
No,
Okay, that's something that I will ask to see if they can come up with that.
I would love to have that data, Fred.
Okay, let's see. Moving on. Yes? Okay, the health fair. Betty, you were there. Huh?
Yes, I was. I was helping take blood pressures for
Good.
some of the folks that came in. It was, I think, pretty well received. I got to meet a lot of new people, some new faces within the community. Got invited to go to view different places down to Pace and see what they offer down there. I know that the board was there, I guess, a month or maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, we made
But
several
anyway,
trips.
so Carol was great, and I'll follow up with that.
What sort of attendance was it?
That's how much? What? I would say probably, I don't know, maybe 30 people.
Okay.
I guess that would be my guess. And they thought that was pretty good for a Monday down
Yeah,
at
and
the,
then there was to be an late afternoon distribution of samplings of handouts and things. Did that happen, Elise?
It did not. No, Carol, when I got back to Carol later about, to check in on the progress of that, she said that she just had to jettison that idea because she just didn't have the resources right now to pull that off. So I think one of the lessons that that I learned, and Julie and I have discussed it, we're in agreement, is that next year it would behoove us to have the staff have more involvement. Carol did a great job. I appreciate all her efforts enormously. But we did reach out to her a few times during the process and say, hey, do you need us to help? And she kind of, for whatever reasons, said no, that she had it covered. But I kind of see some places where additional staff involvement, I think, could have been better. That health fair in the past used to draw a ton of people because it was when we used to distribute the farmers market coupons, and we had hundreds of people that wanted those farmers market coupons. It was giving away $25 to go shop for free down at the farmers market, and that drew a huge crowd. But we stopped doing that many years ago, because of COVID and because this year, of course, the farmers market isn't happening.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that draw. Yeah.
So this is a dry run, and Betty, nobody was disappointed. Do your sense?
No. And, in spending some time talking with Carol, also, we discussed maybe opportunities to get maybe people in, or the representatives that were there individually versus in a big group. And maybe that would be more of a draw for specific people that come in and their families, which, some of that is really directed towards families that are trying to make decisions about services that they may need for their elderly parents.
Yeah.
So I think there are some other routes that could be taken.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree, Betty. Yeah, I
Rosalie,
talked to some of the exhibitors about coming in and doing separate presentations.
Rosalie, you're going to say something?
Well, I was gonna say what Elise said. 30 people. I've worked for the city for over like 25 years, and we've done health fairs down at the senior center, and they are very, very well attended. 30 people is not a lot, but like Elise said, it's the coupons that draw the people. But even if the coupons aren't there, maybe 30 people is not a lot. Maybe it's the summertime. That's not a good time to have it. Maybe in the fall. And at the health department, they're pushing. We're having our flu clinics coming up. How about a shingle shot? Do you need that? Teaching people where to get a shingle shot. Pneumococcal. A health department should be there in a big table and really advertising and looking out for the people, for their health and benefits. I think fall is a better time. And I have to tell you, I had a mystery trip with my seniors on the Go bus. And a lot of people were hesitant to come on the bus. Then they learned, because they wanted to go to the health fair, then they learned that there were no coupons. So they came on my bus. And then another thing is, a lot of people complained on the buses, if you live in the Gloucester Housing Authority buildings, they all got a flyer saying, if you want a bag of vegetables, sign up. And the senior care is going to bring whoever signed up a bag of vegetables. Well, how about the seniors that live in a house? How about the
That's gonna
seniors
be
that
in my
live in?
director's report, Rosalie. Yeah,
Oh, it is?
yeah, I'm working with them on that. Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. But they just voiced their opinion because some of them don't live in those buildings and they feel like they should be included.
Yes.
They will be.
Agreed.
So yeah, I'll talk about that in my director's report, but I couldn't agree more. Now that the coupons are taken out of the equation with the health fair, I think the fall makes much more sense. I think, as you said, that just summer being just great weather, we have probably depressed participation a little bit too. And in the fall, people are just still, I think, from all of our childhood, you get into fall and it's that education, time to learn things kind of mindset. So that seems to go really well with really doing a much bigger health and wellness fair. And like you said, getting the health department more involved. Maybe if the COA board could, if there's any way we could stick a pin in it to be on our all radar, like next year, early summer, to really plan a really big one in the fall. And get the board involved with kind of helping out. Thank you, Betty, for helping out yesterday. I think we could make a much bigger thing of the health and wellness fair.
Betty, could I ask you at least initially to be a point person on this?
Sure.
That would be a
Sure.
help. That
Okay.
would be a help.
So
And,
would you like me to
That again?
speak with the Board of Health and see if it's something we can do collaboratively?
Exactly.
And I think the idea of doing something in the fall during, when we're talking about getting flu shots and what are we going to do for our health over the winter is a really, really good idea.
Good. Thank you.
Can I, Fred?
Yes,
Right.
Rosalie.
So, Betty, just, first of all, I want to say that Carol does a wonderful job. It was just, I think the timing was wrong, but I have
Carol
nothing
Zola, right?
negative to say about Carol.
Yeah.
But Betty, if you want to get started with that, you would talk with the director. So right now, the health department's, we're kind of like in a mess. The director that we have right now, he's leaving the end of this month. So you wouldn't go to the Board of Health, that's 5 people. You would go to the
Okay.
health department director, and we can go together, I'll go with you. We have a
Okay.
new public health nurse, so she's green also. She doesn't know the procedures and what we've done in previous years.
Yeah.
So when it comes time, Betty, give me a call, we'll go in together.
So you said the health director is leaving at the end of the month?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I'll reach out to the health.
Rosalie, that is typically generous of you. Thank you.
And I will contact.
Like you have all this
Rosalie.
time.
We'll work together.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's see. Rosie's Cafe. Anything new to report there?
Nope, same status. The numbers are holding pretty steady. Around 40 to 50 seniors on Thursday. Friday is gaining in steam and popularity, and everybody continues to rave about the food, particularly the soup. So
Oh, they
it's
love the
really going
soup.
well. The soups are always so amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I should say on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the census is what, maybe 12?
Yeah, we have about a dozen on those other 3 days.
So I've been in communication with Julie, and when their new kitchen is up and operational, we are high on their list to pick up those other 3 days.
Excellent.
My goal is I'd like us to feed 500 people a week.
That's awesome.
I think it was unfortunate yesterday as well that there were, so few people that were there for meals.
Yeah.
And they also had music and pretty much everybody had left.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this was fun. The St. Peter's Fiesta Party. That was a blast. That was really fun.
That I got such rave reviews on that. I
That was
still
cool. It's a great
yeah.
idea.
The next morning when I came in and we were doing the mobile market, and the cafeteria was full of, I think we had about 140 seniors in there. That's the first time in my life I've ever felt like a rock star. I walked through the room, people that were sitting were reaching up and grabbing my arm just to stop me and say, "That was so fun yesterday." Just having people reach up like that, I was just like, wow, it felt so great. Everybody had a great time. I think it was just what the doctor ordered.
Well, at least
many
also it is
people.
something that was new,
Yeah,
so kudos to you on that one, really.
And
That-
I have to say, the people loved the food. They
Yeah.
loved it, that Italian sandwich, the soup. Open Door makes enough soup that mostly everybody took one home. And
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing, that they eat it there and they take it home and they'll have it for supper or maybe tomorrow. But that was one of the best events. It was great. The music, the raffles, Viva was, it was a ball. I
Yeah.
loved it.
lot of
Michelle
fun.
doing the chant. That's like I keep watching that on Facebook and I cry. I love it so much. It just makes me so happy.
And the mayor was there too.
Yeah.
which is-
Yeah.
Because God knows he's got a busy schedule too, so that was really thoughtful.
Yeah.
It was fun. So I'm trying to think of the next excuse to have, to have another party. In fact,
Val, do you
August,
do you
I
get
don't
the
know.
sense of, Val, do you get the sense of lack of tension in government these days? You guys are all working very hard, but there's very little kind of collision. Hmm?
We're doing well. It's a good collaborative, spirit.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I watch a lot of your meetings on Zoom. Having that hybrid ability to for me to dip in and be there and yet be here as well. It's wonderful, really cool. I don't whether again, are you tracking how many people check in?
Oh, I always track.
Yeah,
You can, I always, before we go live, I always check to make sure that we've accepted all the members of the public and you can just see them. And I check it during the meeting too, because I like to see who's dropped off and who hasn't. Yeah, it's helpful.
well, it's a very healthy way of government.
Can I-
More
can I-
people. Board of Health meetings used to have almost nobody in the audience, for example, once we left City Hall, just because it's so far out. So,
Can I throw something out there to the board on the subject of, I wonder what the next fun occasion for a get together would be. I'm thinking about, like, we have Schooner Festival weekend, which as I get older, that Schooner Festival weekend means more and more to me. It's become very, very dear to me. I think it's just one of the greatest weekends we have around here. If I
Awesome.
reached out to the Schooner Festival committee and and asked if maybe we could get a couple schooner boat captains maybe down here and for a Thursday party in honor of that, in honor of Labor Day weekend and Schooner Festival weekend, if we could loop them in and get a couple captains down here, maybe talking about their particular historical vessels or something. I don't know if that's really got quite the fun aspect that Fiesta does, but I wonder if there's enough there to look into.
I hope so.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Anybody want to join her on that?
Elise,
Suzanne.
I'm on the Schooner Festival committee. A lot of the boats don't usually come in till like Friday, but I will share your wishes with the committee.
Okay.
And maybe at some point we could get Harold Burnham or Heath from the Lannon down to chat with some of the people at the senior center.
Yeah.
So I'll pass that along.
Yeah, if we could do just something that kind of gets everybody excited for that other, awesome thing that we get to have here in this beautiful place that we live. So,
At least
Okay.
could you do this on a Friday?
yeah, maybe everything's everything's open. Friday's bingo. So as long as I don't do anything to displace bingo, because you can't touch bingo, man. You can't touch bingo, Fred. But we could do some outside the box thinking. It's great that you're on the committee, Suzanne. We could probably cook something up that's really cool.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's see. The Senior Care Cookout, Thursday, August 18th, just confirming that date is still, that's in
Yeah.
iron. What time does that start?
That starts at 11:30. Everybody gets there generally pretty early though, so we try to make sure we're all set up by 11.
Cool.
I still have not contracted for entertainment for that. But I did have one senior gentleman. It was so funny. He came up to my office and he said, "I don't want that same band that you get every year. I'm sick of hearing them." He wanted something else, more lively, and he has promised me that he would underwrite the entertainment. He was so adamant about
Wow.
that. So anyway, so we have some strong opinions on entertainment. So I'm going to be putting those pieces in place. And there has been a request too. That same gentleman that felt adamant about the entertainment also felt adamant about looking into getting a giant tent and doing not with sides, but just to create shade.
Yes.
The sun down there is pretty relentless every year where we have that picnic, and I am going to look into it. I think it comes with about a $500 price tag, and he offered to underwrite that as well, and I think that we can accept that. I didn't solicit it. He came up to my office and said, "Hey, I want a canopy," and I said, we don't have that in the budget, and he said, I'll pay for it, so I think that's okay, but, so I'll be kind of looking into that too. I think that would add to the event greatly if we could get a big giant, like, you know.
Yes, I'm surprised that the city doesn't own a tent.
I know.
I haven't been able to find one though. I don't think that we do.
Val, do you know that?
I don't believe we do. I'm wondering if storage has, you know, a reason for that, because, I mean, storage is really tight everywhere, even on Poplar Street.
Okay.
Sometimes I have to go into the barn to get the MIT boxes. That's one of my jobs. And fill up all the containers throughout the city. But we have a good group of volunteers. But anyway, I'm off track. But when you go in that barn, there's so much stuff. You know, I mean, so I don't know, but I think it's a great thing to look at, because if you rent twice, you can probably buy one. You know, so it's probably a good long-term investment.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Fred.
question?
Who is that, please?
Me,
Yeah.
Suzanne.
Oh, hi, Suzanne. Yes.
Val, I don't know if you remember, but years ago, there used to be seniors up on the deck at the visitor center, up on the porch. And I had always thought that was either the senior center or some other group. And they used to set tables up there. And do you remember that? And do we know why they don't use that anymore?
On the deck, you mean where you go to check in for the like pride, for the,
Yeah,
The
the
visiting
porch,
station.
the porch around the visitor center,
yeah,
because it's all in shade.
huh? I don't know. It would be a good question to ask the mayor's office.
I wonder
Yeah,
how many we
maybe-
can seat there.
How many do you usually get at this outing?
About 100,
Yeah, it's
100,
well attended.
yeah.
I
100, maybe
think it-
120.
So
I'm
maybe
wondering if the stairs would be a problem, because the stairs, is it accessible now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's always been, there's a handicap ramp.
Yeah,
Well,
So it's
we
just
also
a
might invite
thought.
Also, the
Yeah, and-
400 committee may be interested in having it, the city having a tent as well.
Hmm.
Huh? Jay Gasparo has joined us. Yes, Jay, are you there?
Yes, good
Hi.
morning. Sorry,
Good morning.
I had no one clicked me in. I've been waiting. Massive technical difficulties. Hey, I have something to add on the tent.
Yes.
So even if we're lucky enough to find a tent, setting up a tent so that it's secure and safe is a horse of a very different color.
Good
So
point.
I would not rush, even if they have an old tent down there. It's pretty technical and it can be dangerous as hell. So,
Is there a local vendor?
Yes.
There
Yeah.
is?
There is, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Probably initially, we should leave it up to them to install and take it away too.
Yeah, that's what we talked about with the gentleman who wanted to donate that, who wanted to.
Okay, cool. All right. So we can have a tent this year, but we shouldn't. Yes, Rosalie?
In regards to the entertainment, somebody on the board might know the name of the guy that he plays the guitar and he walks around and sings. He's always at Cafe Cecilia and he gets the people to sing.
Is that
No,
Captain
I-
Cecilia?
I don't know. I've seen him down at the, when they have the sidewalk, the block fairs. He's down
Yeah.
by Cafe Cecilia and he's singing and he gets everybody up. I'm
Not
gonna
Jimmy
look into
Moses.
it at least.
Are you
I'm gonna
talking
look
about Jimmy
into it.
Moses? Huh?
Who?
Jimmy Moses?
No.
No.
No. Jimmy Moses is good though. No, this guy's a one man. He has a guitar and he walks around, he sings and he gets everybody involved in singing. I'll look into it and see if I
Thank
can
you.
find out how much he makes and all that.
Okay,
And I'll
that's
also be there to volunteer. I love this event.
Good.
Okay, anything else on the subject before we move on?
Uh,
Okay, let's see. Non-emergency medical rides program, Elise, and your working group. Anything to report on that?
The status of that right now is that, we did sufficient homework and got our ducks in a row sufficiently to justify the mayor's office making the ask. So that, asking the city council for some funding to fund that program. It needs to stem from the mayor's office. So I've been working very closely. Thank you again to the working group. And Felicia and Rosalie and Barry have been great. And the next step, I met again with Jill the next step was that she needed a comprehensive memo that just talked about the whole process, that we put a working group together, that we looked into this and that data. She said, put as much in there as possible. You know, more detail is better than not enough. That memo is with the mayor's office right now for review. Jill is on vacation the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to be reaching out to her today and asking her if she can please make sure that she gets me some feedback on that memo. I'd like that memo to be included in the next mayor's report if possible. So that's where that stands, is that I might need to make some edits to that or provide more or less detail. And then we are going to be asking city council to fund that program.
Thank you. Yes, Val?
Yes, it's important in your wording, Elise, is that you're asking the administration to find a funding source. And then the council has to approve that source.
Okay.
So right now, because the budget's already been approved, what the next challenge is for Jill Cahill and the mayor is to determine how are they going to get that funded. And so they might look at, free cash, but they have to come up with something before they put it on the manager's report to go to BNF for the city council to approve.
Okay.
So if you just put the wording that way, they'll know that you understand completely how it all works and what the role is of the council.
Thank you, Val.
Excellent. Thank you, Val.
Thank you very much. Anything further on the subject? Okay, the Wise Middle Street Housing Project. Elise, you had a meeting with some powers that be in the Y, yeah?
Did, and that that didn't come up in that meeting, Fred, because in that meeting we decided that we're going to keep meeting. So I do have that on my radar, is to get together again with. I got together with Chris Lavasco, who's the interim director of the Cape Ann Y, and he's the president of the North Shore YMCA, which is a bigger organization that's got all the Ys all over.
Yes.
Chris is incredibly impressive. Like I just was really, really excited about that meeting. We talked about, this was all going to be in my director's report, but seeing as where they are talking about it now, we talked about resuming some of the things. I went up there thinking that maybe my ask was to get the seniors back in the pool, maybe start a conversation about maybe someday outdoor pickleball. And he kind of just took those things when I walked in, and he was like, oh yeah, we'll do that. That's all in the works. That's not what we're going to talk about right now. So we sat down and started to drill down on how we might collaborate to try to really solve what are the biggest issues that our seniors are facing. Right off the bat, I threw out social isolation. I mean, that's always just like the low-hanging fruit. That is always an ongoing issue. So we talked about that. We talked about, possibly convening a small group of the key people that serve seniors in the community to talk about that problem of social isolation. So the next step is for me to go up there and to meet with the new person who was hired to be the director of the Cape Ann YMCA. Then Chris goes back to being president, back to his prior role as president of the North Shore Y. So he'll still be involved, but I'll get to know the new person. That's going to be our local person. And we'll talk a little bit more about that collaboration. So that first meeting was so jam-packed and really exciting with a lot of great potential. I didn't bring that up yet, Fred, but that was,
it's not an immediate subject. I just want us all to know that through Elise's good work, we now have a line to the top, which is where decisions get made. Val, are you clear on what my issue or our issue with this new development on Middle Street is as far as the Y is concerned and the changes, architectural changes they made in the building?
My understanding is that you would hope to have it similar to how the Council on Aging has modified the entrance, so it's easily swings open with just a push of the button, whereas you feel like that is not the way that the new location will be entered. Is that correct?
Yes. The initial plan had two doors that swung wide open to give roughly a 65-inch suite for coming and going in the building. What they're proposed, the changes that were approved by ZBA, is exactly what we have currently on Manuel F. Lewis Street that we are replacing, which is a single door on a swing with a crash bar. And the idea of having all of those people try to get out quickly through that one small door, and they've actually echoed the same design on the second entrance on the building. that again was supposed to have the double door swing, so that both entrances and exits to the building are now a single 36-inch wide door, which is just, it's what we're getting away from. And they did it, I think, as a matter of economics, which was certainly the propulsion on the senior center as the last change of the building committee. So if I understood correctly from Bob Gillis, it would be a couple of years before this building's going to get built. So this architectural change just needs to be put back to the way it originally was designed.
Now, I believe Mike Hale is responsible for ADA in the city. So maybe this needs to kind of be routed through him as a possibility with a copy to Greg and Jill.
The ADA compliance is met because I made that approach for the senior center a couple of years ago of a way of forcing. And in fact, the single door with the crash bar does meet the ADA requirements so that the city is in compliance with ADA on the Rose Becker Senior Center. The issue is what happens if you have many people trying to exit at once. Just the possibility of somebody getting hung up in the door is scary. And also it's very tough for somebody coming in inclement weather, particularly wintertime, getting, say, in a wheelchair or walkers or whatnot. It's an obstruction that was not a good idea. So it's in the budget to make the change at Senior Center this year. I'll speak to that later, but what I was trying to do is before somebody's gone and built something wrong, that we need to make the correction while it's still on paper. So that's the initiative that we're pursuing with the leadership at the Y.
Yeah, so if you, I'm not on the zoning board, but being a member of this, if you want to try to just send another friendly reminder of that, you want to revisit that before it gets too late, and you can copy me on that if you want, just as a member of here, but I don't really have purview to that, but I understand from where we sit why that would be important.
Thank you. Very helpful.
Yeah.
And I'll bring it up in my next meeting with the new Cape Ann YMCA director and Chris. I'll find a way to get working into the conversation then too, Fred.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Here we are, Susan Goodall. We'd like to approve that the standards of independence and behavior that has been renamed Code of Conduct with the text that I sent around to all of you. That is a result of Susan Goodall's good work, working in concert with Elise. Is there a motion to approve the appearance and the language of the Code of Conduct?
So moved.
Who was that, please? Susan. Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jay.
Rosalie,
Rosalie,
you're on
you're on mute. Any further discussion?
Sorry, I'm good.
Any further discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor by roll call. Rosalie,
I approve.
Felicia,
Yes.
Suzanne,
I approve.
Betty,
Approve.
Susan,
Approved.
and I approve. That's unanimous. Jay, you
Yeah,
made the motion.
I
You
made the
put-
motion.
Yeah, and therefore you
Yes.
approve as well. Thank you. Cool. Wonderful.
One more thing.
Yes, Susan.
Would you like me to work with Junie to come up with an attractive display to put this up? Because she had said she'd be willing to do it after we approved it, and
Oh,
I just need to get her to go ahead.
any guidance coming from the board on that other than saying yeah? Great. Thank you,
I'll
Susan.
get her to do a mock-up of what she wants to do, and then we can all look at it and see if we approve.
Great. Okay, let's see. Elise, staff's remote workstation.
There hasn't really been any movement on that, Fred, just because we've been spending so much more time down at the reception desk that has almost become like a default remote workstation.
Okay.
It's not ideal. I'd still like to maybe put it on tabled items on the agenda, keep it on the radar, because at some point when we get the volunteer desk kind of squared away and fully staffed with volunteers. And there are aspects of the front desk that definitely make it inappropriate to really be a true remote workstation, because there's no privacy and stuff like that there. But right now we have had some, we have had some people resign from their volunteer positions on the front desk. So we have some openings there, and the staff has been down there filling in a lot. So that's kind of serving that same purpose. And I think my intent too is to have the staff just downstairs a lot more. And I've had the staff pitching in and serving lunches more consistently, especially those Thursday and Friday lunches. So we've been finding other ways to have a more consistent presence downstairs. But I still think that eventually, if we could have a full-blown downstairs workstation where we could all be on a rotating schedule of manning that downstairs presence, it still would be a good thing, but
You would need an
out
IT,
there a little bit.
you would need an IT connection at that workstation, yeah?
We would need a machine that we can all sign in to our respective accounts on to get our, to get into our stuff. But we would also, there would need to be some privacy for phone calls.
Have you got a sense of location of where that station might be?
No, we've tossed around some ideas. I had thought about the office that's in the room, that's the downstairs conference room that used to be the old social day space. There's an office in there, but I don't know if that's so tucked away that it defeats the purpose of having somebody down there. I wanted somebody kind of right out there. In a lot of ways, the front desk is ideal because it gets us, we're out there, and serving the lunches, we're right in there too. But I don't know. So yeah, it's just something that is going to need more thought. And I think right now, some of the main reasons I wanted to give that thought have been taken away through other means. So I think we need to just circle back around to that at some point later.
Okay, Rosalie.
How about in the corner, right opposite where the main desk is?
Maybe.
Clean that up and put a desk right there. So you'd have on this side, you'd have the check-in desk, and on this side, you'd have one of our staff working there.
Yeah.
Keep it small. You don't need a lot of space, a little small desk.
Right. The
Right there.
rub up is against the need to be exposed and accessible, and also maybe have privacy. So I have to kind of talk to the staff some more about how feasible can they really remain productive if they carve out a couple hours a couple times a week where they don't have an expectation of being able to have privacy for telephone calls, because it's all about being present downstairs.
I know.
So we're trying to figure out what that trade-off is, Rosalie, you know what I mean? Of using that productivity with the social work staff, of being able to have some of those hard private conversations with people about those needs that are on that bottom rung of Maslow's hierarchy, versus just being able to be down there and be just out and exposed and chit-chatting and talking and building trust, which is part of the process that then makes the person trust you to help them with those basic needs. So we're still kind of trying to work through some of that stuff.
Going on, any further comment on the subject before we move on? Okay, let's see. Val, Annisquam Village Players Senior Complimentary Preview.
So I have designed the tickets. I told Elise, what was the date that you're going to start giving them out?
It's the 13th. We asked people to wait and get in touch with us after the 13th.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
So they're designed. They're ready to go. I've got my bonded paper and ready to number them, but I had to run them by Terry Sands. And so this morning I called him before the meeting to put some pressure on, because I needed him just to bless them. And he said that he would look at them, but he did mention one thing that I hadn't added, which I have to add, is that their board has requested that masks be worn by people that are going to be attending. So I have to add that to the tickets, to say masks will be required, and we'll have some at the door in case somebody forgets. So that's the board's decision. They've done that with the actors. They've required, in the cases of the actors, they required everyone show their vaccination cards before they could try out. And so they're really trying to be on their game. You remember last year we did it outside because of COVID, and this year we're going inside. So, and I think we're going to have, I talked to Terry about it this morning. I'm going to do probably 100 tickets only this year. So 35, I think, will go to Rockport and 65 to Rose Baker. Diane Bertolino had asked for 40, but I think 35 is pretty close to that. And I don't want to short Rose Baker. So I thought 65 would be fair. Does that make sense to all? They just don't want to pack the seats in like sardines. You know, in the past, we've been able to hold up to 170, but we've never really had more than maybe 80 or 90 seniors there anyway, total, even back pre-COVID, right? So, and so that's the part, and it's 7:30, and then I think we were going to talk about the rides.
Yeah.
But that was my part, and the tickets I will get to them to you no later than tomorrow, because I know I'm micromanaging Terry right now. And, you know, when I called him this morning, like at 8 o'clock, he knew that I meant business. So, because he's not an early riser, because he's up to like 1 in the morning. I, on the other hand, get up at 5 in the morning and I'm ready to go. But
That's
by
right.
10, I'm sleeping.
Rosalie, you're going to say something?
My seniors on the Go bus are very, very excited about this. And I have a full bus, so I need 16 tickets, please.
The bus can still go. I thought the bus was done, Rosalie.
No, so we had some leftover money and we got permission to use the money to keep the bus going till the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
I thought that Jennifer would have called you and told you. So I don't know. Am I right, Felicia?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought Jennifer would have called you and I didn't feel comfortable saying that, but we just found out, maybe Monday. So the bus will be running till the end of the year. So, so my seniors are excited about going to this. So that's the day of my mystery trip. We're not going on a mystery trip during the day. We're gonna go at night, thanks to Felicia. And so I have a bus full, so I need 16 tickets, please.
Okay, so you've already got 16 people that have asked you for tickets that are for the Seniors on the Go bus. Okay.
Yep.
That kind of, I definitely think the right thing to do is to give them to you, Rosalie. It messes with my sense of fairness a little bit, because I put in the newsletter, don't even ask us to go on a wait list. Don't ask us for those tickets until the 13th. And yet those 16 people, because they go on the Seniors on the Go bus and know you, they definitely get the tickets now. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're going to run out. So I don't think it's an issue, but there is a little aspect there that kind of makes me like, oh God, fairness. You know what I mean? Because the people that did what we asked them to and waited and didn't even ask us about the tickets until the 13th, if any of them get shut out because people asked you before the 13th to go and have transportation, I just like everybody to have a fair shot at
I don't
the
blame
tickets
you.
and the transportation.
That was in the newsletter?
Yeah. So I think we're gonna have enough anyway. I try to stay away from being in a scarcity mindset. I think we'll have plenty.
Okay,
I
good.
think it'll be okay.
And I will share with you that if it came down to having 2 or 3 extras at the very end, if you call me, I can always go back to Terry and say, can we squeeze in 3 more seats? You know, but we like to have the tickets because we need to control the amount of people that are going to be there, and I number them all with my little Sharpie. So I'll give Diane Bertolino like 1 through 35, and I'll give you 36 through 100. But if we have a onesie twosie, we can work with that.
Okay.
You know, and keep in mind too, everyone, that we really want this to be primarily for people that are members that ordinarily wouldn't be able to afford $30 to go to a show. So if you know people that live in Annisquam or whatever, and you've never seen them in Rose Baker, you know, and all of a sudden they show up to try to get a free ticket, it's like, it's not really the true spirit of what we want to do. We want to make this an opportunity for someone that really just can't afford to come and allow them to enjoy something that they just can't afford. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if there's a way, there's not really a way to say that, but just keep reminding people, we want the people that you see a lot at Rose Baker to attend, not a newbie that pulls up in their Mercedes at a free ticket. I mean, that's not gonna happen, but it's just my little, I'm the one that started this program 10 years ago to start
Yeah.
inviting seniors, and it was done for a reason.
There's
Right.
some ways that, right, I don't think that we can codify that in any way, Val, but I think that there are some ways that we, the staff, can talk it up amongst our regulars and the folks that we know are that target audience and try.
That's exactly, and the folks that ride the bus for Rosalie, those are probably the exact people that don't have the Mercedes. I'm stereotyping and I shouldn't be. I'm not being politically correct. I'm just sharing with my friends how I feel.
You know, I have like, am I on mute?
No, you're not.
I have like half my buses Rockport people. That's another conflict there, right? I'm taking half my buses Rockport people and half is Gloucester.
So let's be fair then, because you should coordinate that back with Diane and just say, these following people are gonna come to you, Diane, to get tickets. And they're from Rockport and they have, you know, they want to take the bus. That would be a good way to be fair, and have a process, right? And, definitely,
Now, Rosalie,
So when is Diane getting her tickets?
as soon as I get Terry to look at, and I just have to add the
This
mask.
week? This week?
Oh, it will be by tomorrow unless I run out of
Okay.
cartridges, color cartridges on my printer, but we're ready to go. I got the bonded paper. I've got my scissors and my black Sharpie.
Okay, I'll give
Yeah.
Diane a call.
could you just ask your Seniors on the Go participants to just get their tickets from their respective council on aging and then call you to arrange to be on the bus after they have their tickets in hand?
I'll work on this. I'll let you know what happens, okay?
Okay,
Sweet.
it'll
Thank you.
work. And for additional transportation, because last year we did have the Seniors on the Go bus and the COA van went. Val and Fred generously provided a stipend for Leanne to drive the van. I did speak with Leanne. I think at last month's meeting, I had been encouraged to speak with Leanne. She's interested in doing that again. She would like to have a stipend once again because
I'd be
it's late at
pleased to
night.
cover Leanne's stipend. I'll do that.
Oh, thank you, Fred.
And I'll share that with you, Fred. We'll talk about that offline, but we know how to process the check, don't we, Elise?
We do, yeah, we absolutely
Elise
do.
comes to all our BNF meetings all the time now. We have to keep accepting all this. It's like, oh, here, poor Elise, here she is again, you know?
I love seeing BNF. Everybody's so nice. But yeah, that would be great. I'll offer her the same stipend. You guys did the same as last year,
Good.
and that'll get us an additional 7 seniors that would be,
Very good.
challenged by transportation. We'll be able to get there, so.
Wonderful.
So let me just reiterate. So if there's 16, of which maybe only 10 are from Gloucester, and then another 7 with this other avenue, is that going to be enough transportation to get the seniors to Annisquam from Rose Baker?
It was last year. I mean, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask people that when they call and they request a ticket to let us know if they also require transportation or would like to have transportation, and then we'll put them on the list. All we can do is take the first 7, because that's all we can fit on the van. Yeah, is take the first 7, and then a lot of the other ones is I think.
Hang on, please, Elise.
Yeah.
Felicia?
Yeah, we've sent, I don't know if it was last year, maybe not the year before, maybe the year before that. CADA has sent like a van or 2 down there to get the seniors up to the play. So if we need to send an extra vehicle down there, we don't have a problem doing that.
Okay,
Can you
Cool.
check with that? Because the year that we did that, it sounded like it was costing a lot of money, and it was my understanding that was probably going to be the last year that option was available.
No, I can make
Okay.
that option happen. It
Okay.
doesn't cost us a lot.
Then that would be absolutely awesome, because that's what keeps me awake at night is telling someone who's excited to go that they can't come now because we don't have a way to transport them.
Yeah, what I can do, I mean, I'll just plan to send a van down there. I think we did it at like 6:30, I think was the pickup time, maybe
So-
6 or
Yeah,
6:30.
you don't want to get them there too early, because we actually have singing practice up until about 7:05 before we start letting people in, and everybody's queued up outside,
We
right?
can
So
pick them up at 6:45 and take them up, 6:50 and take them up. That's
I
fine.
think
We'll
that-
just,
I think that's perfect.
okay, yeah,
we
we'll
tell
just
them to-
plan to send a van down to the Council on Aging.
And how
Wonderful.
many will that fit, Felicia?
That'll fit 16.
Okay, so that's about the
And
same
Jeff
size
makes
as seniors on the
trips. We
go.
can always make 2 trips.
Yep, and then the staff works with people to try to help with carpools and stuff, you know, just because of parking on
Okay.
Dennis Farm. Because I mean, a lot of the seniors still do drive, so we try to, yeah, it all worked out last year.
Yeah, but last year we didn't have many at all, Elise.
I know,
That's,
true.
the year before, pre-COVID was a good example, and we needed both, you know, so that's awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Rosalie. Yay.
At least
thank
you want to segue into your director's report of what's left of it.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see. Just want to let everybody know, and some of this is right from the newsletter, so sorry if I repeat stuff that you know already, but on July 20th, we do have students from O'Malley Academy coming in. We're going to have a cornhole tournament. We've identified one of our regulars who's going to be the team captain to coordinate that. Today, as we speak right now, Julie Smith, excuse me, is conducting her first Shine appointment. So she's been going through the Shine training process, and today she's taken the lead. She's going to be shadowed by a well-seasoned Shine counselor, but it's the first time that instead of her shadowing, she's actually, you know, conducting the Shine appointment with somebody who will then kind of critique her. So the point being there is that we're getting there. We're getting there to the point where we're going to be able to have a staff member who is again able to offer Shine counseling services, which is awesome. Speaking to what Rosalie had started to talk about with the farmers market coupons and the fact that that isn't happening this year. So that senior farmers market nutrition program is the name of the program that always distributed the coupons where the seniors could go shop at the farmers markets. Because Gloucester doesn't have a farmers market this year, Senior Care is kind of the conduit from that federal, I think it's federal, and then the money goes to state and then to Senior Care, but they're the conduit to that program. I'm glad you're back, Rosalie. So this year, because we don't have a farmer's market in Gloucester, what they are gonna do is they have a small amount of coupons available for people to go and use at like a Marshall's farm stand, but they realize that that's pretty remote and that might be hard for people to take advantage of those. So there's only about 30 of those, and Senior Care is gonna distribute those. They're keeping track of their own wait list, so we're just referring people to call Melinda at Senior Care if they want the coupons to go shop at like a Marshall's farm stand. The bulk of the program is going to be what it was. It's going to very much mirror what it was when we were closed for COVID, and there was no farmers market that year because of COVID. That year, what we did was we did about 100 or 120 prepackaged. We did a prepackaged distribution of produce. We did 2 of them. So on one date, there was about $12.50 worth. And then 2 weeks later, there was another $12.50 worth, all local, organic, beautiful produce, prepackaged. So tomorrow we're going out to all 5 Gloucester Housing Authority sites, and we're going to sign people up who want those prepackaged 2 distributions of produce. On the 2 dates of the distributions, we're then going to bring the produce to the sites to deliver it to them. We're also going to have the opportunity, we're going to promote it here at the senior center for those folks that Rosalie was concerned about who don't live in housing, but who are income eligible. And we're going to have them pick their produce up, you know, sign up for that here at the senior center and pick their produce up here at the senior center. I'm trying to work with Senior Care to see, I've asked them, what is the answer to the question, what is our max? And if we hit it and we have more people that want it, what would the per senior cost be, so that I could just take that out of our donations account so that we don't have to put a cap on it. I don't want to put a cap on it. I want to be able to give beautiful local produce to as many seniors as want it. So I'm trying to find an answer to that question. But one of the great things about doing it this way that I really like, and it's in the seniors like the coupons to the farmers market best, but that can't happen. So one of the things I like about doing it this way is that we're out there. And last year when we were out there distributing the coupons by having days where we sat at certain promoted times where all the people knew that we were going to be there in the lobby or the community room that time, we get to use that as an outreach opportunity. The the produce, or last year it was the coupons, is the hook that brings them over to the table. And a great thing for me is to be able to say, geez, I never see you down at the senior center. Do you come down? Oh, you don't? Why? Why is that? What might make you come down? So that's kind of informal, just data gathering of like talking to people and saying, what might entice you down to the senior center? What kind of things do you wish that we had? I found to be incredibly valuable last year. So I'm looking forward tomorrow to having the staff, the Rose Baker staff, me, Julie, and Ann are going to be at the three biggest. We're going to be at Curtis, Clark, McPherson, and Sheedy. And then the senior care staff is going to take Lincoln Park and Poplar Park. So we're going to be out there all morning from about 9:30 tomorrow morning in different 2 hour, hour and a half increments at each of the different sites, signing people up for those produce distributions. So that's how that's all being handled this way. And that's very much just been driven by the fact that Gloucester lost its farmers market this year.
At least now this is Open Door who puts together the produce bag.
No, this is senior care works with local farmers who would have been the same farmers that would have been at the farmers market, really local farms.
Okay.
And they do these prepackaged, distributions of just beautiful, beautiful produce. That's what we did when we were closed. We had done it drive-through style in the parking lot.
I remember. Yeah.
But the year we were closed, we also did deliver to the housing authority sites. So this year we're going to kind of do that same, very close to the same model. So it's beautiful local stuff. It's through senior care. It's not, it doesn't have anything to do with Open Door on this one, Fred.
Good. I'm going to want to make a point of that. That's wonderful cooperation. That's really cool. Good.
So yeah, so I think if there's no questions about that. Also, I think I had mentioned at the last meeting that I had needed to get reviews done for all the staff. So HR clarified for me that it was really just the deadline was really just for union staff. So I did get most of the staff done. I still have to do Ann and Julie, I think, which are going to be easy ones. And I've started the process of kind of meeting with some of the staff to discuss their reviews. So that's been kind of taking up a lot of my time, trying to make sure that I was very thoughtful about that review process for the staff, some of whom who have not had a review in way too long. Just another very quickly on July 20th, the folks from Root will be back here. That's a collaboration that Senior Care put in place with that program out of Salem called Root, which trains young people for food service industry careers. And they've come here and done a couple kind of special lunches that the seniors seem to enjoy. On the 20th, we're going to have barbecued chicken. So if anybody wants to come down and give us an extra hand, those tend to get higher numbers. So we probably will need a hand or two serving on July 20th for that Root barbecue chicken meal. On July 26th, Julie and I are taking a road trip. We're going out to Gordon College and we're going to meet with the folks at their Center for Balanced Mobility and Wellness. To learn a little bit more about what it is that they do and to learn specifically about some programs that they have in place at other senior centers where they bring some of their services remotely to senior centers. So we're going to start to look at what they do there. They do a lot for Parkinson's disease kind of fitness, but in general, everything to do with balance and motion. So we're going to start that conversation with them on July 26th. And then I'm very excited just to say that I've identified a new volunteer. Fingers crossed she's going to work. She seems like she's going to be a great fit, who's going to take my Friday afternoon shift at the front desk, which has been a hard one to fill. And a really cool thing is that she also wants to volunteer. She used to teach jewelry making up at AC Moore, the classes that they offer right at the craft store. And she wanted to see if we wanted to offer some jewelry making classes here that she's going to teach as a volunteer as well. So we're looking at a time and a space and how we're going to handle that with offering some jewelry making classes here, which I'm pretty excited about. And also last but kind of not least, and this involves you a little bit, Felicia, too. I've been working, I don't want it to take up too much of my time, but there's an element that has tended to kind of park itself on our bench right out front, the bench that's technically CADA's bench for people that are supposed to be waiting for a bus. And that bench out there is not people who are waiting for a bus. It's people who are loitering on that bench all day long. I hear far too much foul language, and I just finally couldn't take it anymore. Called and had a conversation with the police, with police department leadership, and said, how much of a pain in the butt can I be to you guys? Because I would really like it if my seniors didn't have to feel like they were running the gauntlet of foul, awful language and people drinking in public and all of the stuff that's been going on that bench. I quite often look down and I see seniors exit this building, you know, using a mobility device, and they are waiting for a bus, and they can't go sit on that bench because they're intimidated by the people that are sitting there. So I have started to keep up a little bit more of a drumbeat with asking the police to please come by and just ask those folks to just move along. They've had enough time on that bench, so please just move along.
Yeah.
So I've been spending some more time on that too. Some of the language that I hear is just, it's just unacceptable. So I'm trying to do something to get that changed a little bit too. And I think that bench technically belongs to CADA, doesn't it, Felicia? Is that bench out there? Like, there's a sign that says that it's a CADA
It's
bench.
a,
or, you know.
yeah, it's a CADA bus stop. I don't know if that's actually CADA's property. It's probably been out there for a very long time, but it's our bus stop. Yeah, it is.
It looks kind of rough too, even when the folks who are loitering aren't on it. It just looks like it's filthy and I don't know, like if we can make some inroads into eliminating some of the loitering, maybe that would be a nice project. And I don't know, I have to see like what I can ask for. I know I can't solicit, but I mean, that seems like it might be a nice project for like Rotary to like fix that bench up and like make it look nice. That's the thing.
Or
Rotary
the
generally does, but-
community service that we were talking about onto the high school.
Or yeah, something. But first I'm trying to chunk off getting the loiterers to not loiter there anymore. Maybe reowning that bench as
Well,
a,
you
know.
have now passed that to the police department, and that's their venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did get, CADA was awarded some funding. We don't actually get our notice to proceed until beginning of October because of the federal fiscal year, but we do have funding to replace bus shelters and benches and do some passenger amenities. So once we get to that point, we'll be reaching out to you guys at the Council on Aging and working with the city to figure out how can we improve that area down there. So it's a little bit farther out, but we do have funding coming for that.
Might that be a kiosk type with some sort of a cover over it?
I would love for it to be something more enclosed, a little bit more passenger friendly. My concern is the big tree that we have right there. And then also making sure that it's ADA accessible.
Okay, I agree.
And
Okay.
and I wonder too if making it an enclosed wouldn't be at cross purposes with my desire to keep the loitering at bay. I think the folks can wait
Right.
here in the building and then go outside just a couple minutes before their bus or,
Okay.
you know, but the fact right now, I watch them stand there and not go sit on the bench because of the folks that are loitering on the bench.
I got
So I'm trying to do
I'll
something
leave
about
it.
that.
Yeah.
Do you want that on the agenda? That subject?
I don't know. What does the board think? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't hurt for me to report back to the board on progress on it or how it's going, you know?
Yep.
And that keeps it kind of on the radar for when, if something can happen with CADA, when you get that
Yeah.
other funding or whatever, it keeps it on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
I'm gonna go. So I will talk to you guys later.
Right, but we still get you in August, right?
Felicia,
No,
No, I resign, effective tomorrow,
Oh.
but I'll be here if you guys need me. I've had a ball with y'all, so.
Felicia, you are the best. Thank you so
let the
much.
record show
Thank you, guys.
tumultuous applause.
Felicia, thank you. Thank you for
Yay.
helping us when we serve the meals and have the party. Thank you for sending Jackie down. She was a big, big help. We will miss you. We will
We
miss
will
you
miss
and
you.
your staff.
A
Thank
lot.
you for all you've done.
Thank you,
All right.
Felicia.
Goodbye,
Thank
Ellen.
you.
Thank you,
Safe
Felicia.
Bye, guys.
You've been awesome. Good luck.
Thanks, Al.
Felicia, come
Thanks.
for lunch, for God's sake.
I know, I should. All right, I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Felicia, good luck.
Oh, what a
Thanks,
good
Jay.
person. What a good person. Wow.
Yeah,
It's a
Okay,
big loss.
director's report, anything further at least?
that's it.
Okay, Friends of the Council on Aging's meetings, either Jay or Suzanne,
I was there, so I can speak to it.
would you please?
So of course, I don't have a lot to say, but because it went to executive session pretty quick, but Mary Ann Weidinger came in to lament her problems with booking a ride share to a medical appointment. She had a lot of runaround. She was very upset. She seemed charming and articulate, so I was sort of surprised that she just had trouble and wanted to make a stop and couldn't make a stop and felt things rigid. And she was very, very upset. We tried to calm her down and listen to her plea. So that happened. And then, we said hello, and then they went to executive session. Well, then I gave them a full report on what happened at our meeting. And then they went to executive session, and that was it, guys. That's my report.
Suzanne, anything to add to that?
Well, I have a few blunt comments to make. I think it's a waste of Jay's time and my time to go to their meeting, talk about what we're doing, where they're completely open to come to our meetings because we're a public entity. And it seems to me, and God bless Jay, he's found the last two meetings, the one I went to, all they did was criticize what we do here, and then they went to executive session. So I am not happy to go to their meetings anymore. I just got the agenda for tomorrow's meeting, and it's going to be kind of the same thing. They want a report from us. Carla Grillo's going to talk, I guess, about her book, and then they go to executive session again.
All right, then I think it behooves me to suspend the subcommittee that who generously volunteer their time to attend Friends of the Council on Aging meetings. I like the idea of having that as an ace if and when we need it, but thank you. Your obligation to attend any further meetings is entirely now up to you as an individual, because you no longer need to go to represent us.
Can we somehow maybe send them a letter to be, being nice and encourage them to come to our Zoom meetings to participate? Is that an idea?
Yeah, Lord knows they have been asked in person, but I might send a note, sure.
Do you think we should run that by the mayor's office, Fred?
Probably.
I think so. And does the board want to hear any further details about Mary Ann Weniger? Because I have some.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
There was a reason that she was suspended from the program, Jay. It was
Wait.
a very good reason. The mayor's office heard her complaint and
can I
they
just-
determined that it was a legitimate suspension.
Elise, please. Oh, yes, Val.
Yeah, so I think I'd prefer not to talk about this on a Zoom call. I think it's a little bit personal, and she is my constituent.
Agreed. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Val.
So,
Well, I mean, you all got my drift. That's why I was polite and courteous and
yeah.
gave you the
So
drift.
Suzanne and Jay,
I
I
have a
thank you. Suzanne and Jay, I thank you for your service as willing
couple of other
volunteers to attend these meetings, but you should no longer feel obliged to do it on behalf of Council on Aging.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
And I will follow up, Suzanne, we request with a note to the Friends reiterating how pleased we'd be if they would be willing to come to attend our meetings, either officially or just as members.
Yeah.
That's certainly always welcome.
So,
Hey, Fred, can I just throw out on this note of collaboration? I'm wondering if when you speak to the mayor, you should find out if there's an independent person that might want to try to have some conversations to understand, how we can improve our partnership. It's kind of like we had a little hiccup with this way back with the senior care, right? And we tried to have some collaborative meetings. I think over time we were able to work out and improve our relationship, right? So I guess I would say that from where I sit, everyone wants to do the right things, and it might not be a bad investment to get someone just to do a little bit of independent, in a positive way. What are the things that the other group can do better that will make you feel more of a partnership, right? Because it's odd that the doors are closed for us, because everybody are trying to do the right things for our seniors. So so anyway, that's just my HR suggestion, not as a member of the city council, but as a member of this board.
Thank you. Agreed. I do.
Thank you, Val.
entirely. All right, let's see. New business. Barry's subject, I'll just carry that forward unless anybody has any thing to add to the subject of board game activity run by students, which I think is a neat idea. But that was an initiative that he put up, and if he's not here, should we leave it till next month? Anything further? Okay. Building facility. I have acknowledgement that the equipment for the kitchen that needs to be connected is in the building. Elise, do you know, has any action come from that?
No,
Okay,
not,
because I've been communicating with Michael Hale by text, and he is now aware that the convection ovens, stacking convection ovens, and the new or the repurposed American Standard gas stove are there and ready to be connected. So it's on his to-do list, and that will happen sooner than later. Michael also has confirmed that yes, the project of replacing the door on Manuel F. Lewis Street is happening. It's probably going to be by fall, not actually in high summer, but that will be in place before the winter comes. So that's a big, huge plus. So we need to, at least to promote the use of the Great Hall's refrigerator. We've heard on a number of cases, Rosalie brought it to my attention, and others have as well, that people aren't really clear on what it's there for. Have you got a plan in mind on how we might go about doing that?
just start with signage. Yeah, and I had that kind of on my radar at some point, but I think it fell off of one of my to-do lists
Okay.
somehow. But yeah, I'll get a sign down there that just says this, lets them know that this is your refrigerator.
Good.
Yeah, and we're gonna start to utilize that more. We have a lot of folks on the Thursday and Friday lunches they love the lunches so much, but they can't get here in time. So
Yes.
there are folks that want to swing by later in the afternoon and grab one. So we're gonna start to use that fridge,
Good.
put people's names on it and put those lunches in there for them to pick up. So that'll start the ball rolling too, of people getting
Good.
in the habit of that being their fridge.
Will you add daily inspection of the interior of that to the custodian's list?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's already on her list to clean the refrigerator. I just need to add an S to say refrigerators.
Great.
Great.
Anything further on that, on the refrigerator before I continue with the building? Okay. Let's see. The electronic whiteboard for the lobby, has that been mounted, Elise?
Not yet. I just got the ticket in, Fred. I was the holdup on that. I apologize.
Okay,
I had a
good.
lot going on, but I
That's-
did get the ticket in, so that's in the works.
Okay. Anything to add to the computers upgrade training program?
No.
Right, there's a sign on the outside of the building that for computer classes that has obsolete information. There's been a recommendation that we remove that sign, perhaps to be replaced in due course with more appropriate signage relative to the upgraded new technology center. Is there any objection to asking DPW to remove that sign? The existing sign that's on the side of the building?
Yeah, it'd probably be good to take it off.
Agreed. Thank
I
you.
think
At
they
least,
painted around it though. I don't know if it's still the old building color under that sign. So, but we might need to replace it maybe instead with something that says, technology instruction and has the new good phone number or something. We
Okay.
don't really have classes anymore, so we shouldn't say computer classes, but I think if we take it down, I don't know what's under there.
Okay, so maybe it would be with just something new that the sign as it is now is going to change. Is that all right by everybody?
Yeah,
Cool. At least you got to go ahead on that.
Okay.
Let's see. With the reinventing the technology center, any word from Ryan Knowles in terms of scheduling on any of this or whatnot? Was that program followed on his budget for starting for this year?
No, my understanding was I was going to talk to Ryan about whether or not the Pro AV system stuff had been included in his budget. The stuff that Gonzalo presented to redesign the technology center,
Yeah.
we was still needed to find some funding sources for that.
Okay. All right. Do we have a set figure on how much we're looking for?
$20,000.
Okay. Does the administration know about this?
Not yet, because it's still one of the questions that we're waiting to get answers on from the Friends. We had given them that comprehensive memo about funding requests. And so the administration knows within that context that we're looking for a funding source for that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where that's.
The mayor has given his approval for the project as a whole and is was very interested in having it happen as soon as possible. So,
Fred, is this for the big room? Is this for the big room at Rose Baker or for the little room?
It's for the computer center, Val.
the computer lab.
Yeah, the computer lab looks like the Jurassic computer classroom. Like, it's really outdated.
Right.
It doesn't serve the way we teach technology anymore at all. Remember Gonzalo did that beautiful presentation.
Right.
We had a pro bono architect do a nice plans of how that room could be and should be, with modular furniture and laptops and a digital photography center. I mean, it's really exciting what's planned for that room. We just need about 20 grand to make it happen.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see.
Fred, I have
Yes.
to check out. I have to leave, okay?
Let's see, nothing, I don't have any further votes, except for adjourning. So thank you, Rosalie, for all
Okay,
this.
thank you. Bye-bye,
Bye,
everybody.
Rosalie.
Bye, Rosalie.
Rosalie, good to see you. Thanks for all your hard work.
Let's see, Elise, you wanted, again, the issue of the AED machines being brought up to fire department standards. Can you put a bow on that now?
I wrote back out to them. The last I had heard from them was that the machines that the fire department had ordered for themselves were on really bad back order, like they were more victim of supply chain stuff going on. So they said that they didn't see any point in kind of adding to the order because their 5 are back ordered. I keep kind of knocking on their door by email and saying, well, shouldn't I at least get in the queue though? You know what I mean? Shouldn't I at least order it and get in the queue if everything's back ordered? So
Yes.
I reached out again to them. I think yesterday or the end of last week, about recently, and re-asked that question. Yes, but how's it coming? Did you guys get your machines yet? Should I be getting in the queue now? Should we be putting our order in through them? Which is my understanding of the way it's going to go, is that I'll order it through them, and then we will work with accounting with the finance folks to get the money from COA donations account, because we did get that at least partially funded, and over
Yes.
to the fire department account. So
Okay, so I will carry this forward on the agenda for next week.
please.
Okay, let's see. This is a subject that I came up with because I read the Falmouth Enterprise for Cape Cod. And in there was an article having to do with internet for low-income households. That they have a provision with Comcast for I think it's $30 a month to provide basic internet service. Now, I understand that Senior Care has picked up on that initiative. Lisa, am I right about that?
I've heard something about that too, Fred. I don't have a lot of detail about it, but I do remember seeing that they were doing something with that.
I'm wondering, should this be a mention carried forward in the resource guide? Susan?
I think we need to get some more information on it, but once we have that, I think it definitely should go in the resource guide.
Okay, all right.
But we ought to be able to tell them how to qualify and how to get into it and where to get it and all that good stuff.
Okay, have we got a contact person at Senior Care who's doing this on their behalf?
Not yet, but I'll get there, Fred. I'll have more info for the board next month
Great.
on that, yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. If I learn anything more, I'll let you know.
Elise,
Yeah,
if you'd like Barry or myself to take that on, let me know.
absolutely. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. All right, let's see. Yeah. Wow.
First he was making breakfast and now he's leaf blowing and doing the cards inside. It's my college students home for the summer.
Nice.
That's what kids are for, they tell me. Let's see. Where am I here? Let's see. DPW projects. Yes, the generator is still on queue. It's coming our way, but it's only a spot on the horizon. Updating the AV equipment, audiovisual equipment in our building as being part, again, of IT's project with improved Wi-Fi and more telephones and whatnot. I'm also thinking that puts a large dent into solving our problems for transportation as well. That people who would find it inordinately difficult to get here in order to do programs, if we're doing hybrid meetings, part of my experience of going to city council for hybrid is to get used to the idea of attending a meeting. Now, I don't say anything at city council meetings, but I know I can, and others do. And if we were broadcasting all of our programs going on here, attendance would go up and people's issues on transportation would evaporate. It's just one more reason for making this happen. Yes, Val?
Go ahead, you continue your reasons before I,
Okay.
you want me to talk?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I agree that hybrid is really important, but, this has been an issue of huge interest to me because there are still many people out there that don't want to participate in hybrid meetings. And so I have many constituents that want the option of going back in person or doing hybrid. So hybrid needs to be legitimately hybrid, I believe. Or you do both, and you do one in person, because without doing that sharing, a lot of people feel like if you're not in tune or technology savvy enough to understand how your laptop works or your iPad works, then you're missing a big part of engaging with other people. So, that's been my experience. And I think you read the newspaper today. You see, I'm lobbying for legitimate hybrid for council meetings, where I think we need to, have our meetings open publicly. We need to be together. We have to have enough space for anyone that wants to be there. And I want Zoom technology as an option for people that might need accessibility and not be able to come to a meeting. So anyway, so I'm extraordinarily passionate about this, and I think you and I feel the same way. But I just wanted to share my thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to amplify that by saying that the Rose Baker Senior Center is a city building, and I feel underutilized, and the utilization could be greatly enhanced if even possibly in evening time if we had this new equipment installed.
And I will tell you that when I've been talking to Greg Verga and we're trying to think out of the box, if council can't go back to Kairos because the Wi-Fi stinks, Rose Baker Big Cafeteria Room has been a possibility where we could have a city council meeting with 50 people sitting and listening, which would be sufficient for us to do that, and they have hybrid. So that's actually moved to the top of our list, which would be a really cool way to get more visibility for Rose Baker, because we're only talking 2 meetings a month from 6 to 11, right? It's a city building. We've got great Wi-Fi, and it's great visibility. So I'm excited about that.
We don't have great Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi is terrible here.
Yeah, but the Wi-Fi is part of the
It's gotta be good.
part of the project.
It's gotta be good. That's a great argument for why we need it to
Exactly.
be
It's
made
all part of
good.
one project.
Yeah,
All part of
okay,
one project.
but right, as it exists right now, like our Wi-Fi here is terrible.
Yeah. No. and-
Right, well, that's why we were at Sawyer Free, because they had good Wi-Fi. But anyway, it's all part of the good equation. We're trying to do what's right. So I'm excited about that.
And at Rose Baker, we have a shovel-ready program ready. All we have to do is flick a switch. All of that research, all of the design and whatnot is already done. So we're just sitting there waiting. Cool.
That would be so great if this building could, could get all those improvements and make it better utilized for the whole city. I would love that.
Okay. The new roof. I don't have an answer on that. Frankly, I didn't think to ask, but I'm presuming that it would be in Michael Hale's budget, and that. But when they're going to get around to it, I don't know. Let's see. Items for the next agenda. Anybody have anything particular they want to put? I've carried a lot of things over, and we've tabled 2 items. Any subject comes to mind? I'm certainly open and available all month long for taking requests for that. I can add things to the agenda up to 10 days before our meeting.
Hey, Fred, I have a
Yes, Jay.
question.
Yeah.
So it was so weird because just when that discussion came up around Mrs. Weidinger, my computer spammed out, and I've just gotten back to the meeting, and it took me forever to get in this morning. It's just, I don't know if it's the stars or what it is, you know, but this whole thing has just been crazy.
Are you in Lanesville?
No, I'm not. No, I'm in Stockton Heights. I mean, we have pretty poor reception here, but normally it works, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't seem to have any video feed. I can see you guys, but you can't see me, and it doesn't appear to be on my end. So I don't know. It's weird. But in any case, I just wanted to add before I was cut off that you know, I think it's worthwhile my having gone there and offering the olive branch and tried to mediate and been a voice of friendship. But also, as I've said from the beginning, you know, as someone who's been to both meetings, this isn't going to go away, and we need to get to the bottom of it, and this stuff needs to be aired and cleared out in the light of day. And, you know, by Val coming on and saying she doesn't want to talk about it on Zoom, and maybe we need to meet in person, but, you know, this problem is not going to clear itself magically, and the board needs to step up, and everyone needs to put their 2 cents in, and we need to clear this out and move forward. And it's not going to move forward with secrecy and, you know, with the mayor's office and going into litigation with the Friends. That's really not the way to resolve this. And I just want you all to know that I don't agree with that tact. You know, there's problems and issues and clashes that need to be aired out. Both boards need to be involved, and we need to have an open, honest, clear discussion. And it's the only way all this is going to go away. Otherwise, it's going to continue to fester. And it's, in my opinion, it's going to be a perpetual problem. And, you know, it's terrible. It's just terrible. I hate watching it all get more and more acrimonious, you know. Talk of lawyers and the mayor's office and all that. It's horrible. I think it's horrible and probably unnecessary, but my solution would be to go back to square one with a lot of what happened before Elise was hired, and now, you know, Elise is sort of, there's just so much that's been sort of swept under the rug and not cleared, and everyone's in a bad position, and now wagons are circled, and now it feels like war. And, you know, the way out of war isn't more war, it's mediation, guys. So that's all I really have to say. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Elise
that's
had
all
her
I
hand
have to
raised
say.
before me, but I don't think Jay heard what I said towards the end of that
No,
conversation.
I was cut off right at the crucial time. It was the damnedest thing.
Yeah. So may I say what I said?
Yes, please.
Are
Val.
you
So what
asking
I
me or
said,
Fred?
Jay, is that I wanted Fred to talk to the mayor, and I thought that it was worth, this issue was important enough that we'd find a neutral person that could do some mediation here and get us talking, just like we had a couple hiccups with senior care early on when I was a board member here. We tried to work it out, and I think we've improved that. So, you know, I think similarly for this issue, because everybody has their heart in the right places, and something has just gone a little bit, we've had a little hiccup and we need to solve it. So I agree, and I think based on me looking around and looking at everybody saying, nodding when I was talking, I believe that there was consensus with that, Jay, and it just echoes what you just said. So I've done enough talking. I have to leave. I've really enjoyed this meeting, but I've got like 5 major council issues right now that are
Oh, wow.
swinging my way here at 75 Revere Street. So
Thank you, Val.
you guys were awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Val.
One final note. So as all of you may or may not know, I'm assuming you know, the book is out, and Carla did an incredibly good job on it. I think it's something that we should all embrace and use, and I think it will raise some money too.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
if you guys have talked about that before I tuned in or anything, but stop, skip, no.
Can I just,
Another country to hear it from.
Hang on just a second. Susan Goodall had her hand up.
But I just wondered, why nobody's coming to the meetings anymore. We used to have, I can't think of his name, the head of it. Why is he still invited and,
Yes, he is.
public meeting?
okay,
Yes, he is. He gets agendas, he gets minutes, he gets everything necessary in order to. Yes, Elise.
I just wanted to clarify that I mentioned the mayor's office because I was trying to lay out the fact, and I think it's good for me to take a step back and just kind of, I understand Val's concern about talking about an individual here in this meeting, and I agree with her that we shouldn't get into those details. There's a process. I am an employee of the city of Gloucester, of the Council on Aging. And if people have a complaint about an action that I've taken as the director of the Council on Aging, they make that complaint to my boss, and my boss's office is the mayor's office. And that is regardless of a person's name, that's what happens. If you complain, if you have a problem with the way I'm conducting myself as the director of the Council on Aging, then you bring that to my boss. And my boss heard that individual's concerns and looked at my backup documentation and had determined that I had adequate reason for that person to not be involved, not to be banned from that program. I don't take that step lightly. The fact that individual saw our Friends organization as an alternative way to complain about me, to take some action against me, I think is something that bears mention to this board, because I think that that's very broken, and that is something to do that speaks to the fact that the Friends are promoting themselves in the community as an alternative way to make any kind of complaint against me. And this is somebody who already brought it to the mayor's office, and now this person sees that the Friends are some alternative way to kind of take some action against action I've taken. It's backwards. I think it's dangerous, and it's very troubling to me that the Friends would even hear the complaint of somebody who goes to them to say, Elise did this thing to me and I don't like it. That's not what their mission is. Their mission is to fundraise for the programs of the Council on Aging. And their mission has nothing to do with hearing complaints about the director of the Council on Aging. So I just want to kind of just make that statement.
Good. Anything further before we adjourn? May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Jay. And is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Betty. We're out of here.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you all. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Goodbye,
everyone.
all. Peace.
bye all.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Good.
You too.
Peace, peace.